Hello, hello, and welcome to the Heal, Rise, Roar podcast. My name is Brandy. I'm a licensed therapist, and this podcast, this space is really where we bridge mental health, self-development, and spirituality so that you can awaken your inner power, your lioness, as I like to call it. So, like I said, my name is Brandy. I'm a therapist, and today we're going to be diving into something that could really change everything for you. We are going to be talking about how to completely transform your life from the inside out, how I've done it, and how I've helped other people do it. So if you're listening to this, maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you feel that deep down, you know that you are just meant for something more. Something needs to change, but something is just holding you back. Like you just can't really put your finger on it, or you're just not able to work through that. So maybe you also have this burning desire to step into a new version of yourself, but you just don't know where to start. I get it because I have been there too, many times. So today I'm going to walk you through my own transformation and also my own transformation journey, and also give you the exact steps to create yours. So I'm talking about real change here. We are not talking about surface level habits. We are not talking about any of that stuff. We are talking about the real deep inner shift that needs to happen. We're not slapping a Band-Aid on it anymore. We are going to get to the root of the wound and really help you to become the best version of yourself and to ultimately transform into your best possible self. So, what we are covering today is going to be how to get crystal clear on what you want, how to stop self-sabotaging and break free from old patterns. We are going to talk about how to align your mindset, your energy, and habits with your highest self, and also how to surrender, to flow, to trust the process, and let the transformation unfold better than you could ever imagined. So, this is more than just changing your circumstances. It's about really becoming the version of yourself that creates the life that you want. So let's go ahead and get into it. So a little bit about my story and how I changed my life over and over again. I am going to take it back to when I was 18 years old. So I am 27 now, so almost 10 years ago. But life has not always looked like this for me. I have reinvented myself many times, over and over again. There were times where I genuinely felt completely lost. I was extremely unhealthy, like 20 pounds heavier than I am right now. And I was lost in my career, in my relationship. I've been heartbroken. I was lost in my own mind. I was suffering from a lot of grief and trauma that I had been through as well. And I've just had those moments that I'm sure that you can relate to, is just feeling like, is this all there is? And there was a moment, and there's been many moments where things have truly shifted for me. And this is just realizing I can't sit around and wait for things to change. I was waiting for my life to change, but I had to be the one that made the changes. I had to be the one to get the things going and start becoming the version of myself that I wanted to become and go after the things that I desire. So, one specific moment that I was referring to when I was 18. When I was 18, I was not in the best place, but I was in a decent place. So when I graduated high school, I had this plan to go to University of Missouri, and I was going to become a nurse just like my mom. I was going to join a sorority. My best friend lived there. I loved the University of Missouri. I love Mizzou. Beautiful, amazing campus. And I actually ended up moving there, and very soon after moving there, I realized this is not for me. Something in me was like, no. I don't want to do this. I don't know what I want to do, but it's not this. I don't want to go down this path. I knew that it wasn't my path. So I ended up moving back home. When I moved back home, I was getting my hair done one time, and this was literally like 2 months after I'm home, and I was like, actually, I want to be a hairstylist. This is it. That's the thing. I want to be a hairstylist. So then I started going to hair school for a month in my hometown in Missouri, and After a month of hair school, I was like, hell no, absolutely not. This is not for me. I met one of my best friends in hair school, and it just wasn't for me. Like, genuinely, I just couldn't stand cutting hair. I'm not like a detailed person in that way. So anyways, long story short, I quit hair school. So then I started working, go to community college in my hometown, and I was honestly just not, I was having fun. I had lots of friends, I have an amazing family, things like that, but I just knew that this wasn't it for me. And I was partying a lot, I was super unhealthy, and I genuinely could not see my life going in the right direction there. It just truly, everything in me, it felt so wrong. It just felt like icky. And so I knew that something had to change, and that is when I decided, well, all this happened like within a year. I decided, I had this bright idea that I was going to move to California, and I was going to live there and work there and maybe go to college, maybe not, go to a community college there, but I just wanted to move to California. And my mom thought I was crazy. I wrote out this whole plan to try to like seek her approval in some way. And of course, my mom's always been super supportive, even though she might be nervous about things and things like that. She was like, if this is what you want to do, I support you, but I also don't think, I'm also confused at why you're doing this, and I'm also kind of nervous, because I didn't know anybody in California. Anyways, I just did it, and I packed up all my bags in a suitcase in a trash bag, and I moved to California, just drove out there with one of my best friends at the time and my mom and grandma. That moment that I moved to California, that I decided, even despite my family being like, what is she doing? Is she off the rocker? Is she gonna be okay? She doesn't know anybody. Even some of my friends were like, okay, yeah, we'll see you back soon, because, maybe they just thought it was one of those things that I was just gonna quit again and come back home. But I knew deep down in my heart, this is what I want, this is what I need. And I just felt this burning desire. So that was just one example of something that completely changed the trajectory of my life and transformed who I am today. And I'm so glad that I took the leap to do something like that, because it has truly transformed me in so many ways. And maybe your thing isn't moving across the country to California. Maybe it's a career, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's moving, maybe it's traveling, there's so many different things. Like, yourself best, and we all have this unique purpose and these unique things about us, these unique desires that are so individual to who you are. But I truly believe that what's best for you. And for me, that was getting out of my hometown, doing something kind of radical, and getting in a space that really expanded me. And so that's what I did. So so that's a little bit about my story. And from that moment forward, I gained so much confidence in myself. There was moments of feeling doubtful. There was moments of fear and nervousness and all of the other things. But I was also thinking, like, fuck yes. Like, I am so excited about this. Like, how awesome. I know you don't have a plan, babe. I know that this is kind of wild, but like, I felt like I was living. And I was so excited about that. And I was like, I'll figure it out. I'll make it work. Like, it's gonna be fine. And it was. And in that moment, from that moment forward, I really committed to something. I was taking my power back. I was gonna stop waiting, stop doubting myself, stop self-sabotaging, and actually become the woman that I was meant to be. I really realized that if nothing changes, nothing changes. Like, it's so simple. We hear that all the time. But like, seriously, nothing is going to change unless things change. So we have to make these moves. We have to change. And maybe it's not as radical as mine, but you know what that is for you. So I knew that nobody was going to come and save me. I had to be the one to make the move. I had to be the one to go after what I wanted and what I desired, even if it didn't make sense to anybody else. So I had to change my mindset, my energy, my habits, and I had to become the version of me that was actually living the life that I wanted. And that version of me took the risk and moved to California when she was 18 with no plans, with 2 trash bags in her car. And it's really turned out to be an amazing thing and has really made me who I am today. But that's just one thing. There's been so many other things that have happened since then, but that was a huge thing. That was definitely a catalyst into my own self-growth. So let's get into exactly how you can start to change your life and transform yourself. So the first thing you have to do before anything else is I want you to get clear on what it is that you even want. It's one thing to say, I want to feel happier, I want to feel healthier, I want to feel better, I want all these like generic things. I want money. Yes, all of that is great. But what does that look like? Like, what do you really want? Who is the person you want to be when you think about yourself? What are the things you want to be doing to earn money? What sort of relationship do you want to be in? What sort of field do you want to work in that match your interests? What sort of environment do you want to live in? So I want you have to get clear on what you want. And maybe you don't have it all figured out, and that's okay, but at least have like a rough draft of what it is that you need to change and what you're changing for. I really believe that that's the most important step to start this change and transformation. So you really can't change your life if you don't know what you actually want to change. And a lot of people focus on what they don't want, but what does your dream life actually look like? What is it that you do want? And really start to sit with that. And some questions you can ask yourself: if I could wake up tomorrow in my dream life, what would it look like? What sort of things would be changed? What emotions do I want to feel daily? Who is my highest self? What does she do differently? How does she look? How does she present herself? What does she do for work? How does she spend her days? And we're not going to be able to wake up tomorrow, hey, maybe. I truly believe everything is possible. Nothing is impossible, but you know what I mean? Like, we got to work towards these things, but we want to know what we're working towards. We don't want to just be floating. We want to have some desires that we're really trying to step into. So, and when I did this exercise, I realized that I had been living my life based on what I thought I should want, not what I actually craved. I had been making decisions out of fear or even out of pleasing others, instead of a vision of what my true authentic self would want for herself. And the second I got clear, everything changed. Because once you have clarity, you can start aligning your actions with that vision. So clarity is really important. Another thing that you have to do in order to change your life is you have to feel to heal. We really have to break free from old patterns. And you are probably going to do this many, many, many times in your life. I know I have, and I still am breaking through old patterns or new things that have come up. So you cannot step into an old life in the way that you really want to when you're holding on to old baggage, when you're holding on to old versions of yourself and bringing them into this new self. It goes back to that: if nothing changes, nothing changes. We have to truly change things about ourselves, our habits, the way we're living, speaking, all of those things, if you want to evolve as a person. So if you don't process your emotions, they really will control you. They will affect how you think about the world, how you see the world, how you interact with people. They will affect a lot of different things. So it's so important to process your emotions. So processing your emotions is simply the first step to that is just letting them out, talking about it to someone, maybe joining support groups, talking about it to a best friend. Maybe it's journaling about it. Maybe it's starting to go to therapy, things like that. But whenever we feel these things, when we talk about these things, we start to heal from these things. They have less of a hold and control over us. So it's so important to feel our emotions so we can release and shed these other versions of ourselves so we can step into a new version of ourselves. So healing looks like releasing limiting beliefs, things that are holding you back, inner child and shadow work, letting go of past pain, of past trauma, or trying to find some sort of meaning or healing about whatever it is that you might be holding on to. And also absolute radical self-forgiveness. This is a huge one that I absolutely am a proponent of forgiving ourselves, forgiving other people, accepting who we are through everything that we've been through, every mistake that we've made, and really forgiving ourselves for everything. So these are all things that are part of the healing process. And truthfully, I used to be the queen of avoidance, like genuinely. I loved distracting myself instead of feeling my emotions. I loved helping other people with their emotions rather than my own. I loved partying rather than sitting at home and maybe sitting with some shit that I had been through. There are so many ways that I distracted myself, and so I get it. If it feels easier, it feels so much easier. But if you truly want to evolve and let go of that shit, that baggage, we have to feel it. We have to let it out and process things that have happened, emotions that we have. And what I learned from healing is that it doesn't happen by bypassing. We really can't bypass these things. They're just going to be down there for they're just going to sit down there, and then there's going to be more shit that gets piled up on top, and it's just going to keep getting buried down and down and down, but it's always there, and you're always going to feel it, and you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Like, it never truly goes away. So once I let myself feel and start to feel, I realized that my emotions were not here to break me down, but they were here to guide me towards healing. And ultimately is part of my own purpose and power as a human, because as a therapist and as a mental health counselor, I help other people process and sit with and create space for their emotions so they can have their own healing. So it's actually become my own gift that I get to give other people, which has just been so extraordinary. All right, so the next thing that you have to do is shift your mindset and your energy. I know that you've probably heard this whole shift your mindset, shift your beliefs, all of that. You definitely have probably heard this, but what you focus on expands. And when you are focusing on negative things, when you're focusing on what's not working, what you don't like about yourself, what you don't like about your situation, that's what's gonna expand. Like, you cannot fill your mind up with everything that is wrong that is going on with your life. Your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts create your reality. So you have to start thinking as your future self would before you become her. You have to start telling yourself affirmations like, I am confident in myself. I know that I can become the version of myself that I want. I desire this, that, and the other, and really start to change the way that you're thinking. You could do this through positive self-talk, obviously, but you can also do this by just being intentional about the things that you're consuming, because in this day and age, we are all consuming things all the time. So be conscientious of what you are consuming and try to consume content that is positive and uplifting and making you a better person, or maybe it's things that you're interested in. And also make sure you're around people that also fill you with love, that fill you with warmth, that expand you, and they don't make you feel less than. So there's so many different aspects to shifting your mindset and your energy, and it's internal and external. So really start to evaluate all of these different things in your life, and see what is maybe bringing you down. Maybe it is your own self-talk, but maybe it's a friend. Maybe it is the Netflix shows that you're watching that are like super scary, or whatever the case is. There's so many different things. Maybe the scary Netflix shows don't faze you, but sometimes they faze me. I'm not gonna lie. So I have to be conscientious of all of the content that I'm consuming too. Daily practices that shift your energy would be affirmations, would be writing, journaling, would be listening to like positive, like high frequency music, creating like ambiance, you know what I mean? Like having the incense, for me, having the incense going, playing like spring sounds, like with the YouTube ambiance videos, you know, that we have now. I'm looking over here because that's where the TV is. I sit outside in the morning and drink my cup of coffee. You know, I do these things that really shift my energy, and really it's like this like main character energy kind of thing, and romanticizing my life in ways really helps elevate my energy as well. So yeah, and like I used to tell myself, I'm not ready. I don't have it all figured out. But guess what? Nobody has it figured out. Nobody has it figured out. Like, truly, nobody has it figured out. The difference between people who change their lives and people who stay stuck is the willingness to take action before they're ready. The willingness to, quote, fake it till you make it. The willingness to step into the uncomfortableness so that you can grow and that you can start to align yourself with the person that you desire to be. It's also the people that just have fun doing it. They enjoy the journey. They feel happiness and peace and joy and fun in the day-to-day, that romanticizing your life, being the main character, doing your hair, doing your makeup, like whatever that looks like for you. Like, they truly enjoy the process and they're not so focused on, I don't have my goal yet, I don't have my goal yet. They focus on, today I'm doing this to reach my goals and I'm feeling good doing it, and this is amazing and we are on our way. And that's kind of the vibe and the energy that they carry. So the next thing would be align your daily habits with your future self. So small changes compound over time. And if your future self is healthy, confident, successful, what is she doing daily? And start acting like her now. Does she eat home-cooked meals? Does she have collagen in her coffee? That's something I recently started doing because my best version of myself is healthy. She has enough protein. She's taking care of her skin and her teeth and things like that. And this isn't to overwhelm you with habits. I really think simplicity is key with habits, and don't try to overdo it. But maybe for 1 month, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna focus on really uplifting elevating my skin routine. And so you kind of find ways to elevate your skincare routine, or maybe 1 month it's your teeth, or maybe 1 month is your confidence and you're really tapping into doing things that help you feel confident. So it's really about starting these new habits that are going to help you feel the things that you want to feel. So one of the things I started doing is I started asking myself, would the version of me who was living her dream life be doing this? And suddenly my decisions became clear. So think about your life right now. Think about things that might be working and not working for you. This is also a good journal prompt to do. What's working, what's not working? Whatever is not working, whatever is keeping you held back in ways, change those things. Change those habits, or stop doing them altogether. Maybe going out on the weekends is not really serving your future self, or maybe smoking a vape pen. I'm just thinking of things that I have that I've kind of toyed with that my future self doesn't do. But also just giving yourself grace and not trying to do everything at once, because that's when we start to feel overwhelmed. But yeah, just really starting to align those daily habits with your highest self as well. The last thing here is to flow, surrender, and trust. There's an amazing song by Sahara Rose called Trust, Flow, Surrender, Let Go. I listened to this song literally every day when I was going through a breakup 2 years ago. And it truly, truly, truly helped me. But it doesn't even have to be through a breakup. It could be really with anything. But the message here is that you don't have to force transformation. When you align with the right energy, things truly start flowing, and trust in the way things are going to unfold for you. Because ultimately, the path of the universe, source, God, whatever it is that you want to call it, is going to be better than you could have ever imagined. So if things aren't turning out exactly how you want them to be, it's usually because things are actually going to be a lot better for you. So sometimes we can create the plan, we can create the goals, we have the vision, but sometimes there's truly a better vision than we could have ever imagined. And that's when it's time to flow, to surrender, and to trust in that. So trusting the process means letting go of control, knowing that everything is happening in divine timing, and surrendering, not resisting. So there are moments where I have thought things are not happening fast enough, but looking back, I realize every delay, every redirection, every setback was actually setting me up for something better than I could have imagined. The timing of everything makes sense. I'm definitely a person that believes that everything happens for a reason, and everything has unfolded in the way that it's supposed to, and I really try to make meaning of that. And I think you should start to think of the same, because we can't control everything in our lives. We can have the vision, we can have the energy, the mindset, and everything, but sometimes things are just going to happen, and we have to surrender and we have to trust in those things that are going to happen. So, so just to kind of wrap this up, transformation isn't about becoming somebody new. It's about remembering who you were always meant to be. If you're listening to this, take this as your sign. Your best life is not waiting for you. It is yours to create, and you can start creating it right now. And you deserve to create it right now. If this episode spoke to you, take a screenshot, share it on Instagram, share it with a friend, whatever it is that you want to do, and you can tag me at Therapist Brandy. I would love to hear your biggest takeaway, and if you're ready to go even deeper into this journey, make sure to subscribe to Heal, Rise, Roar podcast, or subscribe on YouTube if you're here watching on YouTube. And until next time, remember, heal, rise, roar. Your power is already within you. Mwah. Thank you.